Lease negotiation. So this is another thing. When you're looking for the space, I usually, again, will search everything available in the area, usually through a real estate agent. They just feed you all available spaces. I would find everything what's suitable for the per square footage, per general layout and stuff. And then I'll give it to a real estate agent and my partner to see, like, hey, I like these 5 locations in different areas. Tell me what you think. So they would advise me, this area is much better than this area, and so on. And so once we decide that we like the area and we like layout and we want to move on to the next step, this is when we would reach out to landlord and start preliminary negotiations. Obviously, we would go out and check the space, check the area, and if everything checks out, now we want to see the details. And the details for me is crucial. So I'm never in a rush. I would rather to look for longer, but to secure better terms. So I always like to do leases with a no personal guarantee. And these days, it's much harder to find that kind of properties, but they still do exist. Like example, again, in North Carolina, we have no personal guarantee there. Another way how to limit your exposure, for example, if you want to know, if you have other businesses, if you have a lot of net worth, for example, and you want to limit the exposure, I like to do is sometimes you can, like if there is a must be personal guarantee, first I will try to limit it. So there is options where it can be limited to X amount of dollars. For example, I have one of the options in the past where it was like $80,000 guarantee, no matter what. But then rest of it is, that's it, basically. My exposure was like 80K. Now, another option is you can do 1 year rolling personal guarantee. So you just kind of guarantee 1 year of payments. Another option is to get one of your partners to sign personal guarantee, and now you're limiting your exposure. In these cases, I usually negotiate where this partner would get extra equity in a company, because again, he puts his, whatever he has on a line in general if something goes wrong, but that's also an option. So be creative. Then HVAC. I love to negotiate HVAC contracts where I'm responsible for the first, let's say, $1,000 or $1,500, or maximum I have like $2,500 of repairs. Everything above would go to the landlord. And again, these days it's much harder to negotiate that kind of deals, but this is part of the negotiation process. And during this process, you will see if you have flexible landlord. This is like local landlord who is maybe small, he has few properties only, or maybe just one commercial property. So he will be much more flexible than big institution who don't really care, who is their tenant. Also, if the property have been sitting on the market for quite a bit, again, landlord probably going to be more flexible on, be flexible on terms, be flexible on price per square foot, everything else, so this is important. And then if there is like tenant improvements available, I love to see if I can get either like free rent, and with built-in escape rooms, it takes a long time. Like compared, for example, some other businesses I opened in the past, it takes longest, right? There is a lot of process to work, to go through the architect, to go through the city. And so you need to secure as many months free rent as possible. With that being said, I also always like to ask for tenant improvement money. Like if there is any money like I can secure from the landlord. And advantage of going with the big institutions like malls, right? They have funds. So a lot of times, yes, their lease can be much more expensive, but in the meantime, you can negotiate better terms where they can give you 50, 75, 100K, 150K to improve the property. And they can give you longer tenant improvement or longer free rent as well. Like I've seen some crazy deals where it's like 6 month, 8 month free rent, and it adds up very, very quick.